My name is Sherry Ertz, and my husband and I founded Footprints for Faith in 2009 after the death of our newborn daughter, Faith. The lack of resources, both medical and mental health, made an already devastating experience feel even more hopeless. I now have the privilege of serving as executive director under our board of directors. I miss Faith every moment of every day, and I suspect the pain will never truly go away. But I never imagined that the joy, peace, and love that Faith brought to our family would far outweigh that pain. It is because of her that we were able to begin this journey to ease another family's burden and help to create healing memories. Our mission, serving predominantly the Southern Maryland geographic area, is to raise awareness of the impact of pregnancy and infant loss and to provide resources, comfort, and support to families who have lost a baby, including preparation for compassionate care, remembrance or bereavement kits, and bereavement and grief support groups. So we've all heard the term 1 in 4. What that means is that 1 in every 4 women experience a miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant loss. Fetal demise or fetal mortality is the clinical term used to describe the death of a baby in the uterus. The term is usually applied to losses at or after the 20th week of gestation. This is also known as stillbirth. In Maryland, for 2013, which is the last year we have statistics for, there was approximately 1,005 fetal deaths. Please keep in mind these statistics do not include losses prior to 20 weeks. The average infant mortality rate for Southern Maryland in 2016 was about 126 infant deaths right here in our local area. Please keep in mind that these stats do not include losses prior to 28 weeks, which in many cases are induced natural deliveries. This subject is so impactful that in October 1988, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed October as National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. Finally, in 2006, Congress supported the goals and ideals of Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day and declared it to be October 15th of every year. We hope that as you listen to the following personal stories from amazing women right here in Southern Maryland, you will start to understand the devastating impact that pregnancy and infant loss has on 1 in 4 women, their partners, and their families and friends. My name is Sherry Ertz, and I am 1 in 4.
I'm Crystal, and I'm 1 in 4. So Lily passed away from a chromosomal condition called trisomy 13, and even as a nurse, I didn't know what that was. We were informed by a genetic counselor, about 30 weeks pregnant, that this was incompatible with life, that she would be okay in utero. However, when she were to be born, that she could not perform the basic functions of life, such as eating, breathing on her own. So from there forward, we kind of planned her birth and her death, and spoke to the counselors and people who had been through it and medical staff, and were prepared as much as we could. But I think she just wanted it to be mommy and daddy in the end, because once everyone left that second night, she started to decline and having more episodes, and she passed between me and my husband, and hopefully it was as peaceful as possible. If I could tell Lily anything, I just hope she knows that we think about her every day, and we love her and we miss her, and I would give anything to have her here with us. And if I could change it, I could. I would. And another thing I would tell Lily is, even though we're kind of been moving on with life, I just want her to know that we haven't forgotten about her. Even though she's not physically here, she's always here, because I feel guilty at times for continuing on, but just hope she knows that she's always here with us, even though.
I am Emily, and I am the 1 in 4. My son Gus passed away from a condition called lower urinary tract obstruction. At our 20-week ultrasound, he was diagnosed with this condition, also called ludo. And what that means is there was a blockage in his urethra and he couldn't urinate in utero. And that's important because the baby's urine is their amniotic fluid. So if they can't urinate, they don't have amniotic fluid, so then they cannot practice breathe and all the things crucial for lung development. So after this diagnosis, we were sent to Johns Hopkins, and lots of tests run there at the fetal therapy center, and unsuccessful in utero surgery. And they told us that at best, if Gus did live, that he would need a kidney transplant later in life when he was old enough. And once Gus was born, he could not breathe on his own. He came out and he didn't make a sound, and he was transported up to Children's National Hospital, and he lived there for 15 hours on a ventilator, and he passed away peacefully in my husband's arms. I wish that everyone knew that when parents lose a baby, or no matter what the age or how they lose a baby, that they never get over it, and we shouldn't expect them to. It's like you lose people in life, your dad, your grandmother, a brother, sister. It's different in that we're supposed to go before our children, not the other way around. And it's especially unique with a baby, because here you are, you're supposed to have this baby, and it's supposed to be the most happy day of your life, and you're supposed to be taking care of them and protecting them, and then it turns into one of the worst days of your life. And you miss out on so many things. You miss out on that day, you miss out on all the firsts. First birthday, first steps, first words, you never get those. So you go through your life, just every year there's something, oh, he would be this age, he would be that age, and that is your life. And so you never get over it, and we can't expect parents to get over that.
My name is Ashley O'Neill, and I am the 1 in 4. My husband and I were at my 20-week ultrasound, and my son wouldn't stop moving, and the ultrasound tech had a hard time finding a photo. He was just dancing all over the place. And you can see by the photo that he looked just like my husband. And everything was perfect. Heartbeat was strong, he was healthy, and less than 2 weeks later, our world shattered. I had been studying all night for exams, and I noticed that I was bleeding. Less than 10 hours later, in a 2-hour ambulance ride to Johns Hopkins, I delivered my son, knowing that he was too young to live. He passed away less than an hour later in my arms, with my husband by my side. The worst part is not knowing exactly why. The doctors just says, this just happens sometimes, and we'll know how to prevent it during your next pregnancy. But the problem is, what about, this baby and this pregnancy? We wanted him, we weren't worried about the next one. So who was I to think that I could work full time, be in graduate school, all while being pregnant? I worked 3 12-hour shifts that week on my feet, crazy busy at the hospital. And you think, did I do something? Did I lift someone up that was too heavy for me? You have all these what ifs, and then you're like, I'm a nurse. I take care of people for a living. Like, how did I not know that something was wrong with me and my body? I don't want anybody else to have those regrets. You'll never get that time back. There's no first birthdays, there's no hugs, there's no kisses, there's nothing. And that's all you have left is those hours, And I don't want anybody else to ever feel like I feel. So.
I'm Kellen, and my mom is the 1 in 4.
My daughter Brooke passed away in 2007. She was due in March of 2008, but she was born prematurely at 24 weeks. After initially showing signs of improvement, she passed away 6 hours later of extreme prematurity and sepsis.
And unfortunately, I was at home, so I didn't get to meet her while she was still living, but I did go and visit my mom while she was in the hospital during that time. I think it was hard for me to understand why she didn't come home, and that made it really difficult throughout my whole life. I mean, it's only been a few years, but yeah. I asked my dad if I was still a big sister, and it was just a concept that I really didn't understand at that age.
I realized the saying about how life is short and is really so very true. And it caused me to be thankful for everything that we have, but it also caused me to turn back to my faith and renewed my faith in God. I needed to believe that I would see my daughter again in heaven, and I think that's really what got me through those first few days.
Thank you for watching this video. We hope it touched you and opened your heart to the needs of bereaved parents right here in our community. When parents lose their child, there isn't a word to describe them. Life will never be the same for us. Faith has changed us forever, and she has changed this world forever. No bereaved parent will ever feel they got enough time with their baby. My biggest regret is that I did not demand more time. More time to bathe her, dress her, sing to her. More time for her family to spend with her. Though we cannot prevent this tragedy from happening, we can certainly provide a means to peace and comfort for the families. I hope you will consider joining us to show our support as we continue our efforts. In the words of Mother Teresa, together we can do great things. Thank you.